Forgive me, but this video is shaping up to be very long and I don't think this section of TT's debunking deserves much time. He takes the face of Harrison Ford, which is very symmetrical, and draws a line on his face to compare them with lines of an asymmetrical face, like that of our subject. Then concludes that since they do not match, therefore the Mug Shot Bigfoot is a composite of different parts of different faces. Where are the signs of this composite then? And has TT never seen people with a deviated nasal septum? Does he not know that muscles on the brow ridge can be moved independently? If anything, a pronounced asymmetry like this one is an element that corroborates the authenticity of this photo, because asymmetry is almost universal in the animal kingdom and in humans. And guess what? The Pennsylvania white Bigfoot has an asymmetrical face like our guy. Does that mean that he was wrong when he analyzed that video, or that he is wrong now? So where does all of this leave us? I prefer to address the two remaining points together. TT incorrectly assumes that I said hair color cannot be altered with software and proceeds to show that also facial features can be altered. The main issue is that he didn't pay attention to my video. I don't say anywhere that hair color cannot be changed, but I follow a logical succession by proving different elements. If the photo is not AI generated, it must be a composite. If it's a composite, it should be a composite of primates or of a primate and a human, but no primate has a head shaped like this, so it's not possible that someone took the head of an ape and changed hair color. This was my point, which TT completely misunderstood. If it's not a composite of at least a primate, it must be a composite of different parts drawn or heavily manipulated, but even the best artistic work would present telltale signs of photo editing and compositing when putting together many different parts. In this case, a photo editor would have used a real rural setting, a drawing of a head, a drawing of a face shape, eyes, nose, non-human wrinkles and folds, and merged all of them with consistent lighting and red tint. In my personal experience, no artist is capable of merging so many moving parts without leaving detectable traces, as is the case with Satan Fudge's images. Since there are no detectable traces here, the only logical conclusion is that this is not a composite, but a real biological entity. TT didn't even bother to address my findings about the non-human skin folds that could be caused by a different cranial structure, the irregularity, asymmetry and complexity of wrinkles and scars, the different eye morphology, the leathery texture of the skin, the inhuman flatness of the nose in all its parts, the visible brow ridge, the lights and shadows that are perfectly consistent with real sunlight in a real setting, the realistic red tint that comes from chemical degradation of photographic paper. And most of all, he doesn't explain how someone could create a composite with so many different aspects in perfect harmony, without any detectable sign of forgery, and with a final result looking like a perfectly believable living creature with both human and non-human traits. All he does is toy with the features of this visibly fake Bigfoot face from Satan Fudge, and basically says he doesn't have time to make a good job, but this is enough to show that it can be done. Please take a long look at this image. This is what ThinkerThunker considers evidence of the Bigfoot Mug Shot to be fake. It seems only fitting that after spending so much time analyzing his analysis, I should provide an assessment with the visual form that he mocked many times. TT's counter-analysis of the Bigfoot Mug Shot video is sloppy work at best, incompetent at worst. None of his points have merit. He doesn't in any way disprove the conclusions of my original video, but shows a lazy and heavily biased attitude, as well as at least one of his methods to be devoid of a scientific basis. In other words, to paraphrase him, I didn't just tell you that the Bigfoot Mug Shot photo is most likely real. I showed you. I didn't just tell you that ThinkerThunker's analysis is prejudiced and inaccurate in its single parts and on the whole. I showed you. ThinkerThunker's analysis is completely wrong, but does that mean he is always wrong? No, not at all. Does it mean I am right? Well, it means my conclusions are correct according to the observable elements of this photo. It's true that I eliminated any probability in the end of the previous videos for this to be a hoax, and I stand by that judgment, but I also said two things early on in the original video. At the very beginning I stated that this could either be a real Sasquatch or one of the greatest hoaxes of all time. Later on I said that to me the artificial intelligence hypothesis is not tenable, but I'm willing to change my mind if someone can create something like this with the AI software available when this photo first appeared on the web. TT failed to do so, and I suspect no one else will come up with that anytime soon. Does it mean I'm always right in my videos? Absolutely not. It is, from a probabilistic standpoint, extremely likely that I'll be wrong at least once or a few times in my videos, as long as I keep making them. What I can say for sure is that I will always force myself to approach alleged evidence with an unbiased attitude, and that I will be honest with you guys. Someone can be wrong but honest at the same time. What disappoints me about ThinkerThunker is that I have reasons to suspect his video is not just a result of a lapse in judgment, which could happen to anyone. Life has the stubborn habit of getting in the way of work, and a stressful period could make someone lose focus. I would have nothing to object if that was the cause of TT's flawed analysis, but there are many aspects that make me suspect his true intention was not to analyze the photo, but to discredit me and my channel. If you look at this video, there are far too many details that point in that direction, beginning with the title, which is exactly like mine, but with an added real before the word answer to imply a superiority on his part. During his video, he never mentions my channel's name, but repeatedly refers to me as the new Bigfoot analysis hotshot, which is obviously sarcastic. At least in 2 occasions, he refers to my accent as charming. Why, thank you, but implying that it's the only reason people had good things to say about my video, and that they should listen to him instead. I'm afraid that's the true underlying problem. TT is well known in the community for starting bad blood with other creators, the most famous instance being his repeated attacks to Bigfoot Tony, an excellent creator with a more rigorous approach than his in analyzing Bigfoot evidence. He hasn't posted anything for years now, but I encourage you to check out his videos. It seems ThinkerThunker is not happy when other creators in the same niche receive positive feedback, and he mentions more than once in his video that his followers were impressed with my work. It's evident that he was not happy with people posting links to my video in his Facebook group, and he erased comments which mentioned strange spotting directly. I'd like for you to look at this statement he said in one of his videos. I say that we won't be seeing realistic fake Bigfoot photos that can fool even me for a long time. Then there's video. I say we won't see a Bigfoot AI video that can fool even me in our lifetime. Isn't that something a little too conceited to say? And most of all, how do you think this excessive confidence contributes to the quality of his work? Would you say it makes him more or less objective? More or less willing to work hard to get to the truth? Remember what I said at the beginning? Excessive a priori confidence is a strong indication of biases at work. I am normally confident in the results of an analysis after checking and rechecking my methods and reasoning, but I am not excessively confident in myself because I know and always keep in mind that I can make mistakes. The thing is, ThinkerThunker has been wrong before. If we are to trust Bigfoot Tony, and I do, he's been wrong more than once. For instance, a few years ago I saw a video by him about this clip. He concluded in the video analysis that this is a real Sasquatch, except later on it was revealed that the author of this video was a film student and that this was a project of his. ThinkerThunker subsequently erased his video and it's nowhere to be found on his page. In recent years, TT has chosen to turn his channel into a paid subscription, with the majority of his videos for paying customers, while posting rarely and irregularly for everyone else. This is absolutely okay, mind you. I'm not questioning his business choices, but given that a common theme emerging from the comments on his social profiles is that he tends to erase comments and block people who don't agree with him, I can't help wondering how this overconfidence and censoring of dissent and competition play into the quality of his analysis. I can't help wondering, given how poor his line of reasoning was, if he did care at all for the truth behind his photo, or if his real motive was to discredit another creator that received too much attention in his same niche. All these things together, with the sarcastic tone of some of his followers commenting on my video, makes me think he is cultivating an us versus them mentality, which I don't agree with. So, what is ThinkerThunker more interested in? The truth about Bigfoot or his bottom line? In his video, he calls me a hack for stealing his techniques, which have a patent evaluation pending. Some of his followers have repeatedly commented that I should give him credit for using his creation. I want to say that I used to like ThinkerThunker's videos, but I stopped watching them a long time ago because I had the impression that he was heavily biased and trying to depict some hoaxes as real because that's what his audience wanted. I even bought and read his first book when I still trusted him. So you're right, I should credit TT as an inspiration, but not exactly a positive one to start my channel. I don't think I need to credit anything else though. He was not the first to make videos about Bigfoot alleged evidence. M.K. Davis was. The methods he uses are simple visual comparisons and calculations, though he never shows any numbers on screen, that scientists used long before him to study the human anatomy. Let me repeat that. ThinkerThunker did not invent measurements, and neither the measuring of typical human body ratios and proportions. Perhaps he was the first one to use them in relation to Bigfoot, but is that really something eligible for a patent, considering that the US government, and therefore also the Patent Office, does not recognize Bigfoot as a real species? Is it perhaps that what he is trying to get is a copyright of his proportional DNA name? I have no reason to use that, and I never will, because I respect the law and other people's creativity. I am not familiar with patents, but how does it work if he were indeed to receive one for his techniques? Does it mean you can get arrested for taking measurements of bodies and faces and compare them? If so, I will rely on other techniques to analyze evidence, but that's the thing, I look at many different aspects, way more than he does. And after spending considerable time demonstrating how flawed his debunking was, his constant repeating that he shows you while I do not takes a very different meaning to my ears and makes me doubt of ThinkerThunker's entire body of work, or at least the more recent portion. Alright, let's move on to the last creator. This will be a shorter and more pleasant section. I've been following Bigfoot Input for about 2 years by now, and I was surprised to see him dedicate a significant portion of his latest video to the Bigfoot Mug Shot. J-Mac, the creator behind Bigfoot Input, mentioned my channel and had very good things to say about it, so I wholeheartedly want to thank him for that. His channel is primarily dedicated to examining purported cryptid evidence with a prevalence of photos. One format he often adopts is analyzing several different photos in a single video, and I really enjoy those videos. I recommend his channel to all of you because he is very level-headed in his analysis and he has become quite knowledgeable by now. On this note, I want to highlight what J-Mac had to say about the Bigfoot Mug Shot. He has analyzed hundreds of photos by now, perhaps thousands, and I think he has a pretty good eye for Bigfoot and cryptids, or pattern recognition, if you will. J-Mac doesn't exactly agree with me, but he says this photo has very good chances of being real because of the lighting, skin details and overall uniformity, and if it is, he says we could be in front of something perhaps more significant than Paddy. I agree with that statement, but something equally important is that he also says that if this is a hoax, it is an absolutely outstanding and impressive one. This is the difference between someone with a good and objective eye and someone who is too quick to tickle their confirmation bias. J-Mac has a lot of experience and he recognizes that this is no ordinary image, whether real or not, whereas others didn't even acknowledge or didn't want to acknowledge that, if fake, it is an extraordinary technical achievement in terms of hoaxing craftsmanship. This video is already very long, but I must answer to some of the most important points expressed in the comments. The first one is a remark of me not considering the hypothesis of a painting as the basis of this photo. You guys are absolutely right, I should have dedicated at least some space to this, and I apologize for not doing so. The reason why I didn't is twofold. First and foremost, by painting we can refer both to digital painting and traditional painting, with the latter composed of different media reliant on which materials and techniques are used. The most common are oil, acrylic and watercolor. Under the moniker traditional we should include also pencil drawing and pen drawing. In order, by googling digital painting of Bigfoot face, we are met with plenty of results, and I suspect many of these are AI generated. Some are good, some not so good, some are incredible. The problem is, I cannot discriminate between AI or created by a human with painting programs like Adobe Photoshop, Corel Painter, Procreate or Krita, just to name a few. What I can say is that none of the faces I'm seeing here have the same realism of our photo. The second reason concerning non-digital artistry is that I have seen incredible and realistic art like all of you, but I've never seen a painting or colored pencil drawing that looked exactly like a photo with discernible depth of field, outstanding complexity and photographic quality of the image. I suppose a plausible hypothesis could be that a masterful painting transformed by an AI into a photo, but that is predicated upon the artist having a great knowledge of our Bigfoot eyewitness reports, and once again it should have been done with AI from June 2022, and DALL-E 1 simply could not achieve these results. The other important point raised in the comments is that if we could identify the plant species in the photo and it turns out to be from Africa or Southeast Asia, then it means this is a composite of a photo of an ape with a human face. I would reply to this observation that there is not enough detail to determine what plant species this is, but also that I don't get the same impression that some viewers do, that this is evidently an African setting. For what I can see, there are so many plants with this general appearance that this could be anywhere. What matters most is that even if we could identify the species as one that grows exclusively in Africa, it would not negate all the other observations made in the previous video and the present. It would more likely mean that this is a photo of an undiscovered African hominoid. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to your comments. If you enjoyed my Bigfoot Mug Shot video and the present follow-up and would like to see some more cryptid evidence examined, I suggest this video analysis of an alleged cave gnome filmed in an underground mine complex in Poland. Have a great day and see you in the next one.